Hello, welcome to the show again. Every Sunday we try and come on here, and today we were divided over what time to come on. We were supposed to come on maybe at 4, and then we were like maybe 5. So sometimes when we come on the show, me and Scott will talk for a long time and kind of come up with a plan. But I promise you, nothing is premeditated. Everything is very spontaneous. Everything we say on this show, many times Scott doesn't even know what kind of questions I'm gonna throw at him. But yes, we welcome you again on this wonderful show. And Scott is over there and ready for the show. I welcome you, Scott. Welcome to the show today. How was your Sunday?
Oh, wonderful day today. You know, and I'm just thankful, praising the Lord. Yesterday, for those who follow biblical feasts and festivals, was the celebration of the Feast of Lots. I'm going to study about that, read the book of Esther. So, just enjoying this Sunday afternoon today.
Oh, so it was Feast of Arts. Did you actually go out there and feast on something? Did you actually go for lunch? What was it?
The Feast of Lots is covering the book of Esther and the events that took place in there, and how there was a man named Haman that wanted to destroy, annihilate the Jews, and how God brought deliverance, and so out of that came forth a celebration. So it's a very fun festive time, usually there's like a play, and anytime the name Haman is mentioned, the tradition is to who are his or noisemakers. So it's really audience participatory, and it's a lot of fun,
Yeah, that's
and then friends of mine came over yesterday, go to a different church, but they came by and we had some food and stuff like that. So
wow. That sounds great. Oh yeah, next time I'm gonna come over and also have some of that food. I bet.
You need to come with some Haitian food.
Haitian food, huh?
You would love it, man.
Oh, okay. So for our viewers out there, this show is gonna be very brief today. We are gonna try and keep it short and sweet. So some of the stuff we're gonna bring up is gonna be very introductory. We are gonna introduce something we might actually talk about for a few weeks, and actually one of those series is going to be black businesses, and so we're going to be talking about black businesses. But today we want to talk about something that actually yesterday I was watching a video of a certain lady. She's called Tanya, and I don't recommend you to go and watch there. If you're easily offended, don't go over there. She's not afraid to say stuff. She's not afraid to speak her mind. She has her heart on her sleeve. But I agree with her on some things I agree with her, some things I don't agree with her. So I have a filter when I'm watching her, and I'm like, okay, today I'm not watching this show, because I know what she's gonna say is not gonna be nice to my ears. So, but I picked out a few things that I think I wanted to kind of bring Scott into the picture and ask him what he thinks about the thing that she was saying. Those of you who are just tuning in, or this is your first time to come on this show. In this show we actually talk about black people. We talk about issues that affect black people, the black race. We try and discuss things that actually improve our situation, things that actually make us better, and how things that actually improve our perspective of things. So today I begin this off with a video. So I'm gonna play a video for you, Scott, and I hope you'll be able to hear everything. And the second video will be a little bit, if there's such a thing as graphical language. I don't even know, I don't know if there's kids who are watching this, or people who don't like cuss words. I'm one of those people who don't like cuss words, but that's how she chose to express her anger. And I don't want us to lose her point because of her language. So what I'm actually trying to get is her point. And whoever is watching this, and you feel like, okay, you have kids over there who are watching with you, you probably, on the second video, you may want to, because I'm going to play 2 clips of her, but the second video, you may want to put the kids away even if it's you and you feel like, okay, that's too much language for you, you may want to step away from the second clip. But I hope you, Scott, can handle an African man using cuss words. All right, let's go. This is gonna be the first video.
Here we go. The FBI data shows that at least 4 black women and girls were M-worded per day in the U.S. last year. This came out this year, right? And they are being taken out of this life, made unalive, right? That is 1 every 6 hours, and they said at least, which means that on some days it was even more than even fewer than every 6 hours. People are saying every 5.5 hours now, right? They are M-worded, K-worded, etc., right? And at the hands, mainly at the hands of black men. In 2016, the data came out that it was every 19 hours. And of those 19 hours, every 21 hours, her slaying was at the hands of a black man. So now that the numbers have jumped up to every 6 to 5.5 hours, the greatest portion of those M words are at the hands of black men. But in 2022, she felt that it was befitting to come out with a 5-part docu-series, a documentary highlighting all of the ways that black men are done wrong by the police, not to mention that when they do these songs and these videos and these tributes, they show all of the black men. They don't show the black girls who are laying in their bed when bullets start flying through, or the black women who get M-worded by the police, even as their boyfriends are there having a shootout with them, but their body is the one riddled with bullets. They don't talk about the black women who are on the side of the road, choked up, the grandmothers toppled and head banged into the ground. We are continuing to highlight the largest face of the movement of poor treatment to black people in this country. Black men are the face of it and have been the face of it, while black girls and the pain that is thrust upon us is largely ignored. I'm going to show you some clips and videos from PBS. And I want you to tell me what's the difference that you see between the people speaking on what's happening to black girls in here and this one that we see. And then she talks about Jay-Z. Why would someone come to her in the airport and say that your son, the wording of that was a little weird, and then she repeated it too, not even son-in-law, but okay, your son. Why would people think that your son is a gangster rapper? Why? Would it have anything to do with the 20 years of vile, disgusting, toxic lyrics about selling rocks, slinging rocks, and murdering N-words that came out of his mouth for 20 years? I remember when I was little and Jay-Z was making music, and I felt attacked by the music. All the B words and N words and all of that, I felt attacked. I was like, oh my God, I felt unsafe. All of these men, these traitors to our community, Snoop Dogg and the guys who made these songs, and Dr. Dre, and these traitors to our community who peddled toxic, disturbing lyrics and thrust them upon us as young, impressionable kids, that glamorize our slaughter, glamorize the objectification of black women bodies and black girl bodies for decades. Now their old asses are all gnarled and all grown up now, but the damage has been unleashed onto us. Why do people not consider him a CEO? He spent the vast portion of his career a traitor to us. And using the same terms and rhetoric that you will find on hood-wearing, KKK card-carrying websites. And black women in turn are like, oh, well, you know, it's in response to all of the things that we have seen and been through. But at the end of the day, you're still speaking a racist talking point, a white supremacist talking point about the lack of intelligence, the inherent lack of intelligence of black men. You're speaking these racist talking points about how no matter what they do, they're not going to be no good. That they have, and you know what? Listen, let me start blocking people. I see we need to start having some block parties in here, because you know what? I'm about to lose it. 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 Listen, if you are sensitive to curse words, please, you can go ahead and exit the video now, or you can put it on mute until you see my face change.
I'm not going to let her cuss on this show. I'm afraid. I'm like, no, wait, no. She's not going to cuss on this show. She was about to throw bombs there, missiles, like she's throwing them on Putin. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm like, no, wait. I think I got her point. She was so mad because at that point, you know, she has this show and it's mainly feminine. She has a ton of black people who follow her. And they are women. So if you go on that show, you're going to be a silent man. And I'm one of them. I'm a silent man in the audience watching. And like she's saying all these things. She seems to be like a women's activist, but a black women's activist. Mm-hmm. She says a lot of things against men, especially black men. I mean, for me, I feel like, okay, this is a different woman. Like she has a different perspective of the whole story, because most people would attack the other race. They're going to attack black people and I mean, they're going to attack white people and they're going to attack them and shield and protect their men. For her, she's different. She's attacking her own people, but she's attacking the men. And I agree with her. I agree with her on very many counts on that. Many times I actually I watch her shows because of that. Like she's not afraid to stand up to men, you know, and that's again, that's not very ethical in our race. Like women normally are very submissive in our race. You went to Africa, where women will never even talk when men are talking, you know. So I thought she was so brave to actually have huh?
But I was going to say she's an American, a black American. That's different. I mean, you know, women in American society are just more vocal. Period. Black women, white women, they're gonna voice their opinion no matter what. So that part, even black women in America, they're gonna speak their mind basically. That's the difference between them and maybe a woman in Uganda, I would say.
Okay. Yeah, maybe it's one of those cultural shocks for me. Yeah, I mean, I know women here tend to be very vocal and they cannot be silenced. You know, sometimes they go overboard. But for her, in her situation, I feel like she, you know, I feel like I'll play a little bit of what she says. I mean, she's mad at that point. That second video, she's crazy. She actually puts up a disclaimer telling everybody to leave because she's about to blow off. But doesn't she have let's begin from there. Like, does she have a legitimate reason to be mad, like to be upset?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, she brings out a good point about it sounds like Beyonce's sister or somebody is gonna. Well, she's talking about Jay-Z. She's lyrics of rappers and degrading lyrics about women. And I mean that's true. You know, especially when I was younger. Yeah, I did listen a lot to those rappers, you know, and had their CDs and stuff like that. Occasionally I might listen now with a different mindset of a person too. And the crazy thing is that even when I was younger, like a teenager, what surprised me was how many women would also listen to the same rappers and dance to how they like a particular rapper or whatever. So you know, a lot of people. I'm not saying that everything they rap about is positive. And this is not all rappers. This is probably like in the 90s you start getting into gangster rap. because before gangster rap really didn't exist until like the late 80s and going into the 90s. But and the hip hop was different back in the day. It was more about fun, dancing, about your lyrical skills, and it became more gangster vibes, more violence and stuff. But I mean, a lot of women also enjoy the music too. It's not just men, you know. So that's the thing. I'm not saying that there isn't a negative influence to the things that we listen and how it can play on our subconscious. But there's a lot of women that co-sign with it too, you know, and also just like women being objectified, their bodies and stuff. A lot of women want to be on rap videos. A lot of women now create their own accounts where they do all kind of immoral type of things, exposing their bodies. You know, there's women that have their own fans pages and stuff like that. So it's not just men forcing them to do it because they need money. A lot of women exploit themselves as well to make money or to get fame, to get status too. So I think both honestly both are guilty at it. You know what I mean? And then too. And I get it. Jay-Z or any other rapper that's black is gonna probably have the greatest influence in the black community. But not only black men listen to their music, it's popular amongst white men too. You know. So I'm just bringing out the kind of like the other side too. You know. So she talked about the use of the N-word, nigga. You know. It can carry a different connotation. I mean, it's different when I'm not saying that it's like when I went to high school. I went to a predominantly white high school, and it was then that I learned that white people have their own little ethnic words they would use to describe each other. They were Irish, they were either Irish or a Mick. If somebody was Italian, they called it Dago. They just sometimes the people who are of that ethnic group, that person was Polish, they say a whole lot. But sometimes the people of that own ethnic group would say that about their own people, but in a brotherly or joking way. I didn't say it because I didn't want them to start trying to think they can call me a nigger. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you don't have that kind of access to me. You don't have that kind of relationship. So So that was eye-opening to me when I was younger, and I get it. You're reiterating something that's negative. Black people have taken it in their own way of using it. They probably don't have the same type of intent behind it necessarily. And they're not necessarily propagating to an extent the same level of like discrimination. Like black people are not putting other black people on plantations, calling them a nigger. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's where you gotta kind of like look at things like always about looking at things in context. Not that it's always good or that it's positive or that it's the right thing to do or that it's edifying. It's just kind of understanding certain dynamics that exist. But yeah, she's got some great points. You know what I mean? Like, some of these guys are now kind of like activists. Well, not activists, but they might speak up for the community. They might rap a song about police injustice, and black people have been rapping about that for years. But then at the same token, on the same album, you talking about killing the other niggas. You know what I'm saying? So it's like. I think it's just. I just think it's really more of a spiritual thing. Like this is kind of the world and how people in the world. There's none righteous, no not one, and so nobody likes to have something bad done to them, but they may not see the damage they project to another. If that makes any sense, But yeah, I think personally, it would be wonderful if rappers went back to being a bit more positive. Or if you're going to talk about the gangster lifestyle, I would hear some songs that didn't really glorify it. They just talked about what was really going on. But you got to realize you have influence as an artist, and that your influence has an impact on the people that listen to you. And I think those artists may look at it like, well, it's just entertainment. But you know that your lyrics also influence people. You were probably influenced by if you did some negative heinous stuff out there. It's something when people are making money and it's making them rich and successful. I don't think they care as much, or they don't see themselves as being a part of a problem. They think, I'm an entrepreneur now. I'm making money. I'm doing something that's positive. And I'm earning money the right way, the legal way. And you are, but your message and what's getting inside of people's soul and spirit, words that you're producing is destructive. And so a lot of people are going to take a hard look at that. That's I hope I'm making sense here to people.
I'm listening to you on, I'm listening to you because you're a black man and you're born here, and this story is your story, and that's why if people wonder why I let you speak, it's because I'm learning. This is your story, and I'm trying to understand your story, so. But the woman is actually saying that, hey, we are part of this story too. But unfortunately, we are not the face of the story. She's actually saying, hey, wait a minute. When we talk about the chaos happening in the black communities, we are highlighting the plight of the black man, and we are ignoring and actually shoving the plight of the black woman under the carpet. Like there's too much stuff going on towards the black women as well that is not in the news. That's what she's trying to say in this situation.
You're right about that. Yeah,
that's something that you agree with.
I would agree with her. Just from that statistic that came out, and she talked about how it increased the violence against women. It was like one woman every 21 hours in 2016, and now it's like 4 to 5 women a day are dying in America. Black women, and usually at the hands of a black man. So she's got a valid point on that one. About women or maybe men being the focal point, and then ignoring perhaps what's happening to women, I think she's got a point. I haven't. I think she's got a good point on that.
But wait, I think one of the facts that she's trying to bring up from that is that unfortunately they are victims of black men. These women are not dying because a white guy broke into the neighborhood and killed them. Because a black man killed them.
No, yeah. We already. Statistics bear out. Like most people get killed by somebody of their own nationality. You know what I'm saying? So with black people, it's no different. I'm not excusing it or nothing like that. And she's pointing out that she believes that a lot of the music that degrades women and plays a part in it. And I'm pretty sure it does. You know what I'm saying? And she's got a good point about, I guess was it Jay-Z she was talking about or something like that? These tribute videos, they highlight men and not the issues going on with women. But that's probably because men are the ones creating the videos. It's like they're dealing with an issue that's close to them, which is them being perhaps the potential victim of a crime or an injustice. And they can identify with it, they can relate to it. If you're going to talk about police brutality, the perceptions of a black man being seen and viewed as dangerous. Because I would think that society would think that black men are the dangerous ones, not so much black women. A woman is a bit. They feel like they can deal with a woman I'm just saying the perception of people. So that seeing that a black man is dangerous, and so now you bring a tribute to black men. But she feels like black women are being ignored. And definitely, I just listened to her with a heart of compassion, because at least she is bringing this out. I didn't even know that statistic was that horrific. As far as how many black women are being killed. Which is sad. It's very sad, very disturbing as well.
Yeah, I mean,
so, yeah.
I of course I believe that this is purely an African statistic. In Africa, one man, if anything happens to one man, it affects a lot of women, because men are kind of huge pillars of society in Africa. Like, there's so many people who depend on one man. There's children who depend on that man. There is women. He probably has 2 wives or 3 wives. Or even if he has one, he probably has 2 girlfriends on the side, and he gives them help. He gives them money. That happens. I'm serious. And if that man dies, there are people who are affected either directly or indirectly.
Yeah.
And so I feel like even if these women are not shot, like the statistics are saying, they are directly affected, because that man is very important in that family. At least that's what I expect. I expect that man to be like very important. So the suffering of the people who are alive is probably even worse than the suffering of that person who is dead.
Right.
But the question here is that do the guys have a right to be angry? Because the guys were angry. They say commenting on them. The guys were super angry.
People are going to read.
Let me actually try and play. Let me try to play what she was saying. Let's go there and see. I'm going to try and skip as much cussing as she will. And again, if there's a kid there, you may want to that kid might want to excuse us for a minute. And if you're also allergic to cuss words, or they ruin your day, this is not the lady for you. Tanya just blew it off here. All right, let's go into it.
Using the same terms and rhetoric that you will find on hood-wearing, KKK card-carrying websites. And black women in turn are like, oh, well, it's in response to all of the things that we have seen and been through. But at the end of the day, you're still speaking a racist talking point, a white supremacist talking point about the lack of intelligence, the inherent lack of intelligence of black men. You're speaking these racist talking points about how no matter what they do, they're not going to be no good, that they have. And you know what? Listen, let me start blocking people. I see we need to start having some block parties in here, because you know what? I'm about to lose it. Listen, if you are sensitive to curse words, please, you can go ahead and exit the video now, or you can put it on mute until you see my face change, because I'm about to start cursing some people out, right? I'm about to start cursing some people out. You can mute it now and then come back. I'll tell you when. I'll put my hand up right now to let you know you can mute it, and I'll put my hand back up to let you know that you can come back off of mute. I just saw some pussy ass nigga write some comment on my video about how I'm black male bashing. Punk, the fuck is wrong with you? This is why society thinks of you as so fucking weak. Because the moment that anybody says anything that is less, any moment less than gargling on your nutsacks through and through to perpetuity, to the end of time, then all of a sudden you're talking about how people hate you. You've got to love yourself and stop this bullshit. Stop it. You can do a lot better. And people telling you that you can do better is not male bashing. Especially if you feel that you're the type of man that those words refer to. Do better. You cannot say that you are perpetually a victim Everybody else in society is rising up except for you. You would do better to listen to women and what women want, because women will get you on target on what is going to make the community better. The fuck would you doing right here in the comments, sitting down on your flat black ass with crust up in between the middle, on your ear mattress, knobby knees and ash everywhere? What you're doing is you are attempting to keep yourself in the past, perpetually a victim, never rising out of your victimhood. Get up, stand up, get up off of your knees. Be a man. Listen to what the women are telling you that they need. They need your protection. They need your provision. Get the fuck up. Work. Build some businesses. I'm reading this book right now about racial hierarchy, and in the book it describes the plummet that we took in this country when we integrated. Because the moment that black men had access to white women legally, they went a-running. The white man's ice is colder. They went a-running. The white man's woman is better. And you don't see how worshiping what comes out of the white man's sack is what's keeping you enslaved. Right now, you're enslaving yourself. What are you doing? Still until this day that we have black men coming up on the internet talking these stupid ass points and dumb tropes, talking about how these men, these women who are mixed with white male genes, that they look so much better than the women who are mixed with yours. That they're raised so much better in a system which allows for them to take some rest in their femininity. Albeit in these other communities, it's not perfect. But goddamn, they can walk down the street at night. That's why when they see your black ass in the neighborhood, they become frightened. Because of what it is that you have done. What she's not talking about in her documentary is how true so many of these stereotypes are.
Okay. enough. All right, over to you, Scott. No comment from me.
Okay, so my comment is, I saw somebody put a comment up there. They said, she was just talking about not using white supremacist terms like nigga or whatever. Then she calls him a punk. So I get it. She's upset. She's upset, and it's like if her message is that we as a people, or to men, black men in particular, is that they should do better than when you're in upset or disgusted about something. Then she's got to stay on code. You know what I'm saying? She's still got to talk to men in a way that's not perpetuating the very thing that she just said we shouldn't be doing. Now you're doing it. And I guess her thing is to say to wake us up or something. It's like, well, man, you're doing the same thing. So somebody put that comment up there. So they're just kind of put their head down. They saw it, which I thought, that's my thinking too. It's like. I get where some of the point she's coming from. I can say that. Yeah, of course. You and I always talk about it. We have to first love ourselves and then love the people around us. If we're going to be a good nation. You know what I'm saying? Righteousness, the Bible says, exalts a nation. So righteousness in terms of doing justice, treating each other well, looking out for each other's well-being. We can do those things, to try to build one another up and not become a nemesis to each other. Not to hold each other down or anything like that. So but I can see why some people might comment at her and come at her because they're like, you're talking, you're double talk now. You just said that the men are using language in their raps that reflect white supremacist vernacular, but now you're using that same thing, and then you're saying, and then in a sense it sounds like she's almost saying that black men deserve to be stereotyped. I have a problem with that. because now you're saying if you want black men to be respectful, they should towards women. But now you're saying okay, so it's okay for your brother, your nephew, your cousin, your uncle, your father to walk down the street, mind his business, and have the police. Like one guy down in Columbus was killed. He was carrying a Subway sandwich. You know what I'm saying? So those are the types of things that black men and women in this country are enraged against. Is that type of reaction from law enforcement. Okay. We as a people, we talk about you hang out loyal at a black barbershop, go to a black church, and you'll hear black people talk about the foolish things that our own brothers and sisters might do. They do talk about it. It's not like black people are okay with black people when they commit crimes or doing unjust things to one another. We don't okay it, but there are things like you said, the rappers and stuff, and they rap about, and I was listening to Snoop and stuff. I'm not gonna lie, and Dr. Dre, Ice Cube. I listened to all of them growing up. I didn't go out. Praise the Lord. I didn't go out and try to join a gang or something like that, because I think there's more to it as to why a person does those things, but I think it can influence them. But she makes some great points. You just got to know how to. You got to still, even to her, she's got to speak the truth in love. You know what I'm saying? Now basically it's just like this black man, black woman divide going on. But I'm not going to say that she's not making any points. She is. It's just maybe how she's communicating it.
Yeah. I mean, this show is meant to be very brief for your sake.
My wife expects me. She said like 6 o'clock or something like that.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah, but now I'm like, wait. She's saying, okay. First, she was saying, "Hey, we are part of this story."
Yeah.
And they are trying to kick us out of this story. We are in this story. We are part of this story. Yeah, and then she's finishing by saying, "Hey, and we are part of this story because of your mess, black man." That's what she's saying. We shouldn't be in this story in the first place, but we are in because of you guys. And now you don't want even us to talk about it. And so that's why and then she finishes by saying that the stereotypes are true. Like these things that people say about black people, most of them are really true. It's not just stereotyping,
Well, but I mean, I have a problem with that.
I know you said you have a problem with that.
Yeah, it's like okay, so now it's okay that we don't give them business loans. It's okay we don't hire them because they're that way. So that's the problem. So,
no, it's not.
We got to ask ourselves, how did these stereotypes begin in the first place? How did black people end up in America? Like, she's making it sound like we came into America and somehow we created chaos in America. So everything bad now happening to us is a result of something that we created. It's not. Everything that we have struggled through has been a part of going through a system of oppression from slavery up until today. So you have to. It's not blaming white people. It's like saying, okay, so we're in this condition. This is what we need to do to better ourselves. And this is what black men. I'm asking for my black men. Let's do better by our women. Let's treat our women with respect and everything else. But to say that. So it's okay if I get harassed. I've been harassed by the police. Okay, I've grown up in America, so I've had that happen to me. So it's okay for that to happen because I'm black, and that's just how you guys are, and the police are now forced to do it. No, man, they did that out of their own sense of wanting to have power over this group of people that they felt were beneath them, and that's been a perpetual thing. That's where these stereotypes. if you're gonna inflict injustice upon people, you gotta anytime someone in power abuses another person, they have to try to make the other person being abused look like there's something wrong with them. Oh well, that's because they're lazy, they're not smart, they're not this, they're not that, they're criminals, they're thugs, and you're saying they, them, and stuff all the time. So I think personally, she's a person that's bringing out points, but she's bringing them out. She's talking about people need to get healing. She needs to get healed. She needs to get healed and really constructing her mind a sound way of how to address black men. Other than that, some people do get sensitive. They don't want to hear anything that airs their dirty laundry or something negative that they're doing. But I don't agree with that at all. I deserve to be mistreated because this about black people is true. But then we can say this about white people. White people are all white supremacists. We have a track record of their society and how they created America. So it is up there that they're biased and racist, every single one. And even if that person is not going there just treating a person badly. Should I go in there and just punch people in the face? Should I put a gun to their face and pull the trigger on them because they're white and I don't know what kind of a threat they might be. I need to take them out before they do it to me. No, none of us. You wouldn't even justify that. None of us would justify that. But yet still, we feel that it's black people deserve to be mistreated, and that's a part of a symptom of having a poor self-image of oneself. She doesn't love herself by making that type of statement because she just talked about how black women have been victims of some of these things done to them by police. Well, those women were victims because of the stereotypes and prejudices that these police officers had about them as well. So it's like. That's messy what she said. It's like you're making some great points about men that need to protect women and not harm them. About black men that need to be more respectful towards their black women. You could probably say that about a lot of men, but I'm just talking about black people. So that I agree with. But to say that stereotypes are all true. Then I don't know the black people that she talks to, because my brother is not that way, and I've seen black men that had issues and turned around, or changed their life, but my brother is not that way. A lot of the men in my family aren't that way. My neighbors aren't necessarily that way, at least from what I know, so it's like, have I seen negative black people? Heck yeah, I grew up in the hood, and not everybody down there was negative. Most people were pretty much regular people, but we have some people, man, that were off the hook, and did I see some stuff? Heck yeah, I did. You know what I mean? So do they represent all black people? No, they represent a segment of black people. But that's what I have to say to that. That's why I just don't. That right there, I understand her being upset in response to the comments. But if you're trying to bring healing to people, then you got to know how to talk to them and say, well, look, I know some of y'all don't want to hear this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. And just state your truth. But saying that we deserve it and stuff. She's bitter about some black man in her life. Some black man has hurt her, or a couple have hurt her, and she's held on to that bitterness, and she's feeding into all the negativity about black people that we're fed with in America. We have been subliminally fed with in America to not like ourselves. Because as I've stated many times, and I'll continue, the thing that racism taught us to do was not to love ourselves. And if we don't love ourselves, how can we be of benefit to anybody that looks like us? And that's where that's coming from. That's a place of bitterness right there. And so if you're going to heal something, you can't be bitter. Bitter fruit don't taste good. Bitter fruit. If fruit is bitter, it means it's spoiled. You know what I'm saying? You can't suck the nutrients out of some bitter, spoiled fruit. So that's my opinion.
So, I mean, you're making very and it's very nice listening to what you're saying, because I'm actually like trying to reflect on everything you're saying at the same time. And at the same time, I'm beginning to think, and I'm like, okay, these women, is she representing the voice of women who actually see where the problem is? Because I'm like, okay, wait, I'm a firm believer in men being leaders and men taking a stand as leaders of the family. And as a Christian man, I know you believe the same thing. So is it an indictment against the black man not really taking his position and taking responsibility? Because I'm like, okay, this woman is actually saying things that most black men would not like to hear. But maybe African men are not doing enough. We are not living up to our expectations, because I believe we have so much potential, and I believe that, like we have been discussing on this show, that we are the solutions of our communities. And if these things are really happening to them and they're dying because of us, that's the last thing that should actually happen. Because as a man, you should be a protector, not a killer. You shouldn't be you shouldn't be like a destroyer of your own family. You shouldn't be a destroyer of your own kids. These are things that should never be heard from a person who people feel safe around, because your family feels safe around you, and then they're dying, or they are hiding under their beds, like you said, from flying bullets. Because guess what? You're running from the cops. So you're running around and bullets are flying all over the place. All you guys are, there's these gang fights within the neighborhood. And like I said,
there's a lot of toxic behavior, you know what I'm saying, that I mean, you know what I'm saying, I agree. There are a lot of men, like if you talk about the gang violence in Chicago, or across a lot of streets in America, or just gun violence involving black men and gun violence. I mean, really, ultimately, the way to solve it is for them, person trigger to decide not to do it. You know what I'm saying? Ultimately, the police can only respond or whatever else. So the community or people who seek to reach out to people like that to help them transition in their thinking, so that's important. And there are a lot of men dropping the ball as far as how they lead or the type of lifestyle that they live, that could be quite dangerous and put a community at danger, at risk. But I do also understand too that like I said, I've seen all type of black men in my life. I've seen good black men, or I've seen black men who were negative and then they turn around, their life changes. I've seen some very irresponsible black men. And I think the brothers out there shooting and stuff like that. They're irresponsible, man. Anybody can get hit by that bullet. You know what I mean? Like everybody else has to live in this community along with you, and it's selfish just because of a vendetta, or you feel like somebody wronged you, played you. But like I said, I grew up in a community where that type of thing was kind of common. Gun violence. It wasn't like every day I feared my life. I had fun as a kid. I played outside and stuff. But at nighttime, you might hear some gunshots. You know what I mean? Especially if two gangs were warring against each other. And that community. Now I live in a predominantly black neighborhood. Now it's completely different. This neighborhood is quiet, but it's a different socioeconomic type of community, just a different mentality of black people that reside here. Not to say that everybody where I grew up was gangster. Most people were, but you had that element that was in the community quite strong. You know what I mean? Like this is abnormal. This is good. I get it that they're living out of whatever frustration or anger that they got going on in their life, whatever pressures are on, not justifying it at all, but just making that observation where their mindset is, and their challenges, and now they got access to a gun, what they're fighting over, what they're beefing over, all of those things, those are complex issues. But yeah, man, definitely if a lot of those men had in their lives good men to look up to, who looked out for them, cared for them, good father figures, either if they're around them doing positive things, or if their father is not there but still involved in their life, then perhaps a lot of these men wouldn't go to that extreme. So that's a failure of male leadership. Black male leadership, if you want to put it in that regards, to not properly ground your sons, to guide your sons and protect your daughters, and train up our sons to protect and respect your daughters and sisters. Look out for them, and not try to just take from them or take advantage of them. So that I agree with. In her, and I think she was just like, she feels strongly about this, so that I agree with her on, a lot of men have dropped the ball, and in terms of being a leader, being a good example, and that's going to, we already got enough stuff to deal with outside of our community, so we can't allow those problems to break us down to the point where we reproduce it in our own community, and I think that's really where a lot of it stems from. We can talk about from a spiritual level, having a heart towards God, but also how other sins, the sins of oppression, affected our mentality, how it's created in us a disdain for our own selves, and then it just breaks people down mentally. You know what I'm saying? And then they pass on derelict type of behavior, or destructive behavior, I should say, or destructive decision making. You know what I'm saying? We need more men to have a constructive decision making that builds up versus something that's destructive. That I firmly agree with. I firmly agree with that. Yes, a lot of black men, we can no longer be destructive. Remember, there was a song called "Self-Destruction." You're headed for self-destruction. A bunch of rappers got together and made that late '80s. They were talking about black on black violence and everything else. And that message is still true to this day. We can't allow destructive the destruction that happens externally. We've got to learn how to make constructive decisions, build up our community, and not destroy it. So that I agree with. I think that's men's responsibility.
Oh yeah. Okay. Now I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, and we will get to the end of the show. On a scale of 1 to 10. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you think? How much damage that we are experiencing today as black men is from racism?
From racism? Shoot, probably a 10. I think it's a 10. Yeah, I think it's a 10.
Out of 10?
Yeah, it's a 10. Because. Yeah, I think it is.
So all our problems are.
When I say racism, I'm thinking just its impact, like on us, psychologically and generationally. You know what I mean? Directly and indirectly. But I think the root of it is learning. The root of it is being subjected and subdued, segregated from the mainstream. And then all the destruction that came along with it, all the negativity, that brought people's self-esteem low, that damaged their psyche, and so that now I think Steve Biko said this. He said that the most powerful tool in the hands of any oppressor is the mindset of the oppressed. So once black people began to adopt and internalize a poor image of themselves, or a hatred of themselves, hating almost hating themselves for being black, so to speak, because of all the challenges that came along with it. I think that has played a heavy toll in a lot of the chaos that we see going on today.
So it's 10 out of 10, and most of that is psychological.
I think it's like a psychological beatdown that we have had, and then it's like if a person doesn't get some type of intervention and learn how to be built up properly, then they're just going to create another cycle of destruction in their life and to the people around them. You know what I'm saying? It's like destroyed people learning how to destroy themselves. You know what I'm saying? It's acceptable to break down black folks and pull them down, so we now do it to each other. You know what I mean? It's a weird psychological thing, but I believe it's been so internalized in us that in this generation, to be honest, like my mother's generation, her generation was the one in which segregation was still legal in America. So it's not like it's a long time ago. And then you still got things that happen. There's still things that happen, probably not to the same level of degree of devastation, like direct racism, the way that they faced it. But it's still some of the lingering impact of it, like what it created in their mentality, the mentality of the people before them, and what's now been passed on to this generation. So I think on a scale of 1 to 10, I would say it had a heavy toll. Now am I saying that a white man is going to come and reverse it? No, I don't believe so. I don't believe so at all, and I don't think most of us expect that to happen. We have to be the ones to try to facilitate, spark, and ignite within each other a deconstruction of a destroyed mentality, and then try to reconstruct in us, give each other tools or words of wisdom to build each other up. That's where our responsibility comes. Is now we somebody's got to have an aha moment and say, wait a second, this is not the life that we're supposed to live. This is not how we should continue, and this is not where we need to go. What we need to do is build each other up and love one another. And so that's going to come from us doing that. You know what I mean? Because the other group is going to continue to do what they're doing. They're gonna justify whatever injustice that they want to create. But the thing that we have to do is say, listen, we're going to come together and build each other up. The Bible says two are better than one, so the black man and the black woman can come together and build with each other. Then from there you can build the society that you want internally. We can build what we have. We have enough intelligence to do it for ourselves. We don't have to wait for somebody else to do it for us. Because the other side don't know how to do it for us. How are they going to build us up if their whole lives have been spent and destroyed? They're not trying to build us up, and I don't think they have the tools to do it. We have the tools to do it.
Okay. So the other question for you was, do you think that the black women are recovering faster from the effects of
I don't think so. Because if black men aren't, then if a lot of black men aren't in a place where they're whole, what kind of leadership can they be to their women? What kind of protector and provider? When I say provider, I ain't saying monetarily, like emotionally and spiritually. What kind of provider are the men being to the women? If the men are not on point, then how does that impact the women? So I don't know. I think women by general, in their nature, if you look around the world, most women don't start wars. So most women don't create violence. That's just most women just are not going to go out and and do a drive-by shooting, where most women are not going to lead another country into a war. It's just not the nature of most women, you know. So I think men we have the greatest capacity to lead, but we also have the greatest capacity to cause a lot of people to bleed too. And so depending on what type of man you are, either you're going to lead, or you're going to lead a lot of people, or you're going to cause a lot of people to bleed. So that's what I think.
All right, yeah. So that brings us to the end of this show, and like you can either lead or bleed. That's the first time I heard that. It's a powerful statement. Yeah, definitely there's been a lot of blood. I hope this blood will come to an end. So for me, next week we are actually going to talk about black businesses, and I tactically asked you the last question because it leads us to that topic. I don't know what people think. Maybe they can shoot us comments and let us know what they think. Are black women recovering faster from the past of African Americans, or are the black men doing it faster? It looks like when we go into the black businesses, it looks like there's more women entrepreneurs that are black women than than there is men, and most men will come out athletic. Most men will come out as athletic, and they're going to try athletics, and where they stop is where they stop. Women will think better than that. They will think of other abilities God has given them and come out and do something. So the question is, are women recovering faster than the men in our own race, or what? So that is something we're going to be looking into in the next series, in the next episode in this series. So it's been nice having you, Scott, as usual. It's a blessing to always have you here. Your insights and wisdom are always appreciated, and we shall continue having you here as long as we have questions.
Thanks for allowing me to come on.
Yeah. Thank you for making time as well, and taking your precious weekend off to be on the show is something we totally appreciate, and I believe the viewers do. So yes, this show has definitely come to an end, and we are happy that you guys I get feedback from some of you guys, and it is great to get feedback. And this is a new channel, and we hope you can share. By the way, we normally don't tell people to share this channel and subscribe, but yes, subscribe to this channel, share it to your friends and to the black community out there. We want to hear your voice. We want to hear your opinion. We want to know what you're saying, because we want to see a different black people, because we have so much potential and we have not actually used it. We've not utilized it. So we want to see our communities become better. We want to see our communities develop, and we want to be proud of our communities. We want to live in our communities. I don't want to be like you, Scott, when you got some money, then you went to a rich subdivision. I'm kidding. I'm saying that
I live in an area that's predominantly black.
Oh, okay, fine.
I live in a black middle class area. I mean, there's white people here. There's a significant amount, but it's majority black people here.
But at the end of the day, we want to make our communities a community we want to live in. We want to be. Unfortunately, the opposite is true. We want to run away from our communities because we want to stay alive. But we want to change that, and that is why we have shows like this. And thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next show next weekend. Thank you very much.
All right, take care. Bye bye.